What's up, y'all? Oh man, I don't know where to begin, so I'll just begin by saying, my father passed away yesterday. Um, if you see me smiling, it's because I don't know how to process like what I'm saying, and you know, obviously like it's tough losing a parent, and I made a GoFundMe. If you guys want to support his funeral and burial and like all of that stuff, it's like very much appreciated. Um, but I just kind of want to talk about like how I'm feeling about the situation and like everything. So, yeah, he passed away yesterday, July 31st at 1 p.m. At 63 years old. He would have been 64 in October. October 11th is his birthday. Um, and it's been a long process, I got all this damn cat hair on me. It's been a long process. If you know me personally, I've been going with him to the hospital like for 2 years. It's just been this constant battle. He passed away from just like so many complications. He had severe heart failure. He had like problems with his kidneys. He had like a bone disease. He had some disease in his legs. He had internal bleeding, which was ultimately the thing that kind of took him out. And for like the past, excuse me, for like the past like 2 years, he's been in and out of hospitals, but like he's been checking himself out of hospitals, and it's frustrating because I was there with him like during this whole journey, telling him like stay in the hospital. He hates hospitals. He wanted to go back, be where he was, with wherever. And I told him stay in the hospital. Like when you're finally healed, you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. It got to a point where he wasn't even like able to really walk anymore because his like this disease he had in his legs. Well, it wasn't really like a disease. It was like an infection because his heart wasn't pumping enough blood to circulate throughout his body, because it was like the heart failure was so severe that it wasn't pumping enough blood to his legs for it to have enough circulation to be able to like him to be mobile. And heart failure and like all this stuff, and it called out to him, and then seeing that decline. I remember from when he was walking, and he would just go into the hospital like here and there, and then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I remember like the last time I saw him was the day before he passed. He was in the hospital. He couldn't speak because he had all these tubes in his throat, but he was like conscious, like I guess like halfway conscious. He was like moving around and looking around, but you could tell he couldn't see. Like his eyes were real like foggy. And I was holding his hand. He was grabbing my hand, squeezing my hand, but he was also like trying to like I don't want to like look crazy like repeating his movements, but he was just like shaking, trying to like get out the hospital bed because they had his wrists like taped to the not taped but like tied to the bed, so he couldn't like get up and fall or whatever. And he kept looking up and looking around like this, like it didn't look like he just like moving. It looked like he was actually looking at something. It looked like he was fighting what he knew was about to happen. And then the time I saw him before that, so this is the last 4 times I saw him. So the first time was he was sedated. They put him in like a coma type of situation where he was like alive but just like not there. And then they brought him back. They took him off sedation or whatever. And then I saw him. As soon as he saw me, in the hospital. My man, he gave me dap and stuff, and then we was talking, and he was telling me how he wanted to leave, and then like the little side part of, I feel like I'm rambling, but this is whatever. There's a little side part of the hospital bed. He like let it down and was trying to get out, and then the nurses were trying to put him back in bed. Like he did not like hospitals, and it's sad because like it got to a point where like the last time I saw him before he passed, the day before yesterday, when he was like looking around and only like could shake around and move his hands and stuff, it was pretty much like that was going to be it for him, you know. So it was like death or just living like this forever. And you know, his body finally gave out, and then yeah, but it's a weird thing to cope with for me because if you guys know me personally or maybe listen to my music or like anything like that, you would know that he wasn't always present in my life. Like growing up, I grew up without a dad, and you know, I used to have feelings about that, as anyone would, you know, like why. It was just like, you know, but as I got older, I realized, you know, everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their own things that they're fighting within that maybe you don't see. And I'm sure he had like a lot of things. He had 10 siblings, and he outlived all of them except one. So he has one living sibling left, my Uncle Doc. But everyone else passed away, and I know like dealing with all of that because a lot of those deaths were early on. I remember when I was younger, when my aunt passed away. I just, you know, he dealt with a lot, and I think I don't want to make excuses for, you know, him being absent or him like turning to drugs or anything like that. But he had like a lot of things he was battling inside. And when I think about like my own struggles with my depression and stuff like that, while I never really turned to drugs, like I don't always cope in the most healthy ways, and you know, it's just something to think about. But regardless of all of that, like I can honestly say he was a good person. He was a respected person. He was like loved by so many people. I remember like every now and then we would, you know, drive around or like be outside together. He would always see somebody. He like every time we went somewhere together, he would see somebody he knew. And half the time he didn't even know them back. They'd stop him like, "Yo, what up, Cole?" His nickname was Kojak. "Yo, what up, Cole?" They would sit there and chop it up, talk, and then the person would leave. And I'd be like, "Yo, who was that?" And my pop, I don't know. He would. That's the kind of guy he was. Like he just, you know, he like he was a Queens dude, man. Like people in New York, like have personalities. Like Brooklyn people are a certain way, Harlem people are a certain way. Like he was a Queens guy through and through. Handyman, could fix anything. He done mounted my TV that's up here. He done installed these doors on my in my room. Just, you know, it sucks, man. Like it's a hard thing, and it's even harder because like he didn't have any life insurance, so I'm pretty much the one trying to figure out like the funeral stuff and the burial stuff, and like just, like I've had a lot of deaths in my life, but I never had one that was this like close to where I had to like do everything. And it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. But as you can see, like I'm trying to like stay in good spirits. I just went by his neighborhood not the other day, a couple hours ago. Why are they giving me thumbs up? Apple. But I went by his neighborhood I keep saying the other day. I went by his neighborhood like an hour ago, and all his friends was outside. They had like a candle lighting thing going on. And I pulled up, and everyone like embraced me and wished me condolences and stuff. And it was good to see like where he would always be at outside on his block. They not gonna forget him. They remember him. They're literally out there celebrating him right now. Sad, man. Like losing a parent, bro. Losing a parent is crazy. But what I can say about him though, that I wrote this on my Instagram too. What I can say about him, and what I'm gonna try to do more of in my life is he lived his life how he wanted to live it, good or bad. Up until his last days, he was living how he wanted to live. If he didn't want to be in the hospital, he wasn't gonna be in the hospital. And unfortunately, he paid that price with his life. And I wish he would have just listened to me more. He probably would have had a few more years left. But he did things how he wanted to do them. He was very much himself. Again, good or bad, he was loved by everybody. And he was very loving and giving and caring, despite like not being there for me when I was younger all the time. All of his people, and even like when I got older and we like got closer, whenever I would need something, it was no problem, and that was the same way with him. Whenever he needed something, whenever he needed me to bring him something to the hospital or like get a new phone for him or whatever it was, I was there for him every step of that journey. And I was there from walking around with him, driving around with him to the end. I ain't trying to cry on YouTube and shit. I don't want to be one of them YouTubers, but it's tough, man. We human, bro. We got emotions and stuff, but it's just damn, like just But if you watch this whole video, thank you. If you can, like, donate to the GoFundMe. I appreciate it, man. Like, you have no idea. Me and my family, my mom, my sister, we all appreciate everyone's help. And, just, like, be there for your people. And most importantly, like, take care of your health. Like, go get checkups, especially, like, men. Because men, black men especially, I don't know, for me, too, I don't take care of myself as best as I should. Like, I work out a lot more now. I eat a lot better now. But that's not enough. Like, go get checked up. Like, just stay on top of your health. Because, I just want everybody to be good, be healthy. Everybody, hug your family, hug your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Don't hold grudges, Like, if you got problems with anybody, it ain't worth it, man. Just, like, as best as you can, just piece things up.